Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Tantin's channel. And today I'm going to talk about two popular rackets for beginners and recreational level players who are looking for their first or second racket to play with. And first up, we've got the Wilson Clash 100 V3, which is just dropped a month ago. And the Clash has built quite the reputation for its comfort and power since the first version was released back in early 2019, I think. And it really shook things up in the world of power rackets because before the Clash, if we think of power rackets, we typically think of models like the Pure Drive, Pure Arrow, Yonex E-Zone, Head Instinct, or something like that. And these were all known for being a high stiffness racket, which, let's be honest, not always the most arm friendly. But the Clash, on the other hand, is a game changer because it has a super low stiffness but still manage to generate explosive power. So it's one of the best selling rackets year after year. And the second one, we're going to talk about the Head Boom MP 2024, which is the second version. And the Boom made its debut in 2022 after Head saw how successful the Clash was and decided to create something similar, despite already having an extensive lineup of rackets. And the Boom comes with a very similar racket to the Clash, which is a 100 square inch head size, 295 gram and strong weight. However, the Boom has a teardrop head shape, which helps lift the sweet spot higher. Additionally, the racket is slightly more head heavy than the Clash, giving it a different feel. So, are these rackets any good, and which one suits your game style? Let's dive in and find out. But before we get into that, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more tennis content. For the spec, as you can see here, the Clash has significantly lower stiffness and lower swing rate as well. Note that I strung both racket with Solingo 2x Soft 1.25 at 50 pounds equally. Alright, let's start with the Wilson Clash 100 V3. My first impression? It really plays true to its Clash heritage. The racket maintains all of the signature features that have made the Clash so popular. It's soft, it's flexible, and yet still powerful. So you don't need to swing all out to generate power, which is a big plus. I only have to do like a half backswing and I can hit the ball deep in the court. And the best part, it's incredibly friendly, like 100%, and super maneuverable and whippy thanks to the headlight balance. This gives you great freedom of movement on the court without the racket feeling like a burden in your hand. And the dwell time on the racket face is also quite long, which give you that deep pocketing feel if you're into that. So this racket will likely appeal to you. As for the performance, the Clash can generate a powerful flat ball, but it's also excellent for shaping the ball with topspin from the baseline. So if you prefer to hit with a higher margin over the net, the Clash can definitely deliver. It's very spin friendly in my opinion. I think it's a solid all-court racket offering comfort from the baseline, and when you move up to the net, the approach shots are great. The sweet spot is generous and it provides excellent forgiveness on shots that aren't perfectly clean. So if you are beginners, you don't have a perfect footwork, I think this racket is going to help you a lot. Now let's talk about the downside. First, the control, of course. Actually, the depth control is fairly good because you know how powerful the racket is and it packs a punch, so you naturally adjust your shot. However, the directional control can be a bit tricky because when I aim for the middle, I find myself hitting balls too far to the left or to the right more often than I would like. And another downside is stability, which is a known issue for the Clash since the first version. And it's why you don't see high level players using it in serious matches. The flexibility that gives the Clash that soft, comfortable feel can be a drawback when you play against athletes or big hitters. The racket struggles to handle fast, heavy shots, and this can lead to instability. And as a result, you may find yourself gripping the racket tighter, which could potentially lead to arm injury. So, if you are considering buying the Clash, it's important to know your level and who are you playing against and adjust your game accordingly. Now let's move on to the Headboom MP 2024. And my first impression is that this racket feels significantly less maneuverable than the Clash. It definitely feels lower, likely due to the teardrop head shape, which shifts the weight toward the top of the racket. While the boom is still technically a headlight racket, it doesn't feel as light in the hand. The boom is also firmer than the Clash, but I wouldn't describe it as stiff. The string bed isn't as pocketing as the Clash either. It's more responsive and the ball doesn't sit as long on the string bed. It's more of a point and shoot racket in my opinion. When it comes to power, I would say the Boom offer less raw power compared to the Clash. The power generation isn't as straightforward. With the Clash, you get power with every shot. It's simple. But with the Boom, you have to hit the sweet spot to unlock that power, mainly because the teardrop head shape. It took me a bit of time to get used to this shape. The sweet spot is higher up, and if you hit the lower part of the racket head, it feels like a mishit, and you wouldn't get a power on the ball. However, if you connect above the sweet spot, you get a lot of power and a more launchy ball. So for me, it's harder to control the depth with the boom because I'm not always sure what I'm going to get. Whereas with the Clash, I know I'm going to get power on every shot, which makes it easier for me to adapt. In terms of stability, I think the boom holds up a bit better at the baseline. Directional control on the boom is also noticeably better than on the Clash. I feel like I can place the ball exactly where I want it on the court more consistently. The trajectory of the ball with the boom is more direct than with the Clash. It's not you cannot like get a shapy ball on the boom that much. I don't think it has the same spin potential or access to spin as well. So with the boom, generating topspin requires more of a deliberate swing path, while with the Clash you can use your wrist to generate spin more easily, even with a whippy motion. So at this point, I would say that if you have a more compact swing, lock your wrist in a lag position, use a WTA style backswing, and typically hit flatter balls, I think the boom may suit your game style better. On the other hand, I think the Clash is more versatile. Whether you have a WTA or ATP type of swing, whether you use your wrist or not, the Clash works really well with various type of swing. On the serve, I prefer the boom a bit better, but it's not completely different. Both are great at the serve, but at the net, well, I don't want to talk about it. Both are unstable and sucks at the net. They are super launchy and really hard to control. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.